Today we're going to be recapping what I spent on week 2 of my month-long no spend challenge. Also, did I borrow this cash from my daughter's purse so that I could make the thumbnail for today's video because I didn't feel like going downstairs to get my actual cash. Yes, I did. Don't worry. I put it back. If you wanted to hear about more details on the rules and exceptions that I created for myself for this month-long no spend challenge, I will link week 1's video in the description box where you can read about all of that because I went into all the detail. But basically I created a nice little calendar to write down all of my spending for the week so that I could track it in a more visual way versus just going to look at my bank account and trying to remember. Today, I specifically wanted to talk about what went well this past week and then what I've learned and what I want to pass along to you guys if you're interested in doing a similar no spend challenge. So going into this second week after week 1, I saw how excited I was having 2 completely no spend days, 0 spent even on legitimate things. I went into week 2 having a goal to do 3 of those 0 spend days. While that wasn't a huge focus of the challenge in general, I noticed that it made me feel good, so I wanted to do more of it, which leads me into the number 1 thing that I learned during week 2, and that is to focus on things that bring you joy and happiness. Spending 0 money. It sort of replaces some of that good feeling that you get by spending money and by going shopping. I know this doesn't speak to everybody, but that's my experience. I always love shopping or buying things because it gives me that boost of whatever that chemical is that I'm forgetting right now, but it just makes you feel happy and feel excited and good. Even if it lasts for a short period of time, which is why you need to spend over and over again, I love that feeling. And so this past week, I've really been focusing on trying to replicate that feeling in a way that spends no money. And for me, that's in seeing those 0 spend days, that's in seeing my savings account increase, that's in paying down my credit card a little bit faster. All of those things gave me a similar like, whoa, that's exciting feeling. Like I want to do more of that. So that was really exciting. And I definitely would recommend if you're doing a no spend challenge to try and focus on what those feel good points are for you and trying to do more of that to get that good feeling versus that good feeling that you get from spending money. All right, so I'll show you guys a quick close up of my calendar for this week to show you the days that I spent and what I spent it on. So in total, I spent $193.78, which is $221.93 less than week 1, which was really exciting. I know week 1 did include getting my hair done, and this week 2 I didn't get my hair done, so that's obviously $100 difference just in like not having to do that every single week. So that doesn't really count as a victory, quote unquote, but I did spend less on other areas like grocery shopping and things like that. So that was exciting. I did reach my goal to do 3 0 spend days, so that was really exciting. Felt really good. Very proud of myself. I'm reading my phone here because I calculated all the totals. So I spent $54.83 on eating out for me and the kids. This is an increase from week 1. Not a crazy amount, like it's not like $250 or something like that, but it's still a little bit more than I would like to spend. I'm not gonna make a huge deal about it. I did spend less on groceries, I think, this week, so maybe that kind of balances out a little bit. I don't know. I spent $19.71 on crumble cookies that I used for my video that I filmed on Monday and put up, so that was a legitimate expense. I also spent $13.75 on my nails, which is super. First of all, they look awesome. Very cute. Much less than I usually spend on my nails, and that was because I had a $35 gift certificate to my nail salon that I got as a present for my birthday, so I used that, so that was very exciting. Again, legitimate spending because one of my rules, if you didn't watch week 1, one of my rules is that I can get my hair done twice and my nails done twice throughout this 4-week period, so that was that. I did spend $105.49 on groceries, which was lower than week 1, so I was very excited about that. Again, not that I'm necessarily trying to spend less on groceries intentionally, but it would be nice, like, you know. I think one of the side effects that I've had from this no spend challenge is, in addition to not spending on makeup and clothes and skincare like I wanted to do, I'm also more conscious of what I am spending money on, even though it's in those legitimate categories like groceries or food for the kids and things like that. I am getting excited when I can spend less. Now, I could see that getting into like a harmful area if I start getting really obsessive over it and really like towing the line between being frugal and being just like cheap for no good reason. So I definitely don't want to get to that place, but I don't think I'm anywhere near that yet. I just feel like, I just like the good feeling of spending less money. I don't know. And so I did end up spending $0 on makeup, skincare, home decor, clothes, any of that stuff, which is a win. That was what I was going for with this whole challenge. So it was another successful week. I'd like to say that I could go into week 4 doing 4 0 spend days, but I feel like that might be too ambitious. So I'd like to do at least 3 zero spend days again. If I'm being honest, I feel like week 2 was emotionally harder for me than week 1 was. During week 1, and this is the same if you're doing any kind of challenge, if you're doing like a diet, something like that, week 1 is always the easiest because that's when your motivation is super, super high. You're just getting started. You're like, yeah, I got this. I could do this. By week 2, you're like, kind of over this. I don't really want to do this anymore. And you're lacking that motivation that was keeping you going in week 1, and so it's just harder. Like, it's still doable, but in general it felt harder. So I was also tested a lot more this past week than I was in week 1. I had a couple of my favorite shops and stores do limited edition collections or drops that were only for this week, and I had to go without, and it really sucked. It was stuff that was really, really cute. I really, really wanted it, but I didn't give in. I didn't get it. I think what helped me stay successful in week 2 were the same things that helped me stay successful in week 1. You know, deleting sales emails, writing down my spending every single day on my calendar, talking to people about my no spend challenge and how it's going to stay motivated, and remembering what the purpose of the whole challenge was, which was not necessarily just to save money, but also to be more intentional about the way that I'm spending my money. I'm not naive. Like, I'm not thinking, oh, this month-long challenge is going to save my whole life, and as soon as this is done, I'm never going to spend on anything I don't need ever again, because that's false. I'm actually very nervous about coming down from this challenge and overspending and buying everything on that list of stuff that I made of everything that I've wanted to buy throughout this past couple of weeks. But I do feel like it's making me a lot more intentional. There were a couple times at the beginning of the week where I felt really like stressed about not buying something that I really wanted in the moment, that by the end of the week I felt a lot better about seeing stuff and being like, you know what, I would really love that, it's really cute and I do really want it, but truthfully I don't need it. Truthfully, I have 5 other things that are very similar that I'm barely using, so like, why add another thing into the mix? So I found that really, really helpful, and that was really my intention for this challenge, so I'm glad that I'm leaning more into that intentionality space. Alright, speaking of, here's my list right now of all the things that I've thought about buying that I have not bought these past couple of weeks. I mean, it's not a short list, but it's not super, super long. Some of these things are outrageously expensive. I don't even know why I thought about buying them, but like, for some of those things, I'm probably, even at the end of the challenge, I'm not going to buy them, even if I still want them, because like, they're exorbitantly priced. But some of these things I could see myself still wanting and still buying at the end of the challenge. But I think there's other things that for sure are on the list that I'm like, well, I have something kind of like that. Like, I really don't need to buy it. So this has been super helpful to write all those stuff down. Intentions for going into week 3. I really still want to focus on, like I said, getting that good feeling of saving money, paying things down, all of that kind of stuff. Want to embrace the focus on being intentional about what I'm spending, on why I'm spending it, and why I feel like I need to spend it. And then I also, like I said, want to have at least 3 zero spend days for this next week. I do know that I'm planning to get my hair done this 3rd week again because, like I said, I'm getting it done twice in this 4-week period. So that's probably going to make my week total a little bit higher, but I know that going into it, and it just kind of is what it is. Hopefully I can save a little money in other areas, but like I said, overall, as long as I'm not spending in the makeup, skincare, home decor, clothes categories, which is where I'm really trying to do zero spending during this challenge, then I'm considering it a win. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you can learn something that will be helpful on your no spend challenge. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you guys have ever done a no spend or a low spend challenge and how it went, any tips that you might have. I'll see you guys next week for another check-in. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you guys then. Bye!